Did you ever think how lucky guys are nowadays that we have these Innova bomber discs? Do you think life was always like that? Well, not really. If you look back before all this disc golf, like to your great godfathers, what was going on, like starting in 1970 and all that, people were trying to throw their frisbees. Yes, frisbees as far as they could. You thought my Jaguar was big enough? Well, what happened starting in 1970 is they started measuring how far people could throw. Of course, the very first one is PDGA number 2. He repeated as the sixth longest, I believe about 76. But what they were throwing around were like these whammos. You ever hear of whammo? Flying discs. They were flying around, and then of course they decided to call like those vintage for a couple of years. And how better to start moving into the 80s with the vintage. You know, we were making those discs down in Ontario by a company called Discraft. You know, the old Sky Pro, have you ever heard of such a thing? Anyways, the very first of the new class was Dave, of course, in 1980. So then what did Dave do to follow that up? Well, he went away, he came back about 3 years, started playing around with like the old Aviars and like XDs and doing some stuff. And the next thing you know, the Arrow was born, the old Arrow. That was pretty handy. Someone threw it 167 meters, which was really good. Better than the 80-some meters that was going on. Of course, you know, all good things come to the end. Next came along the competition with the Lightning discs. They kind of beat that out. So how does Dave respond? Well, Dave is Dave. Comes back about 5 years later with that Phoenix. The Phoenix was the longest thing to go for about 7 years. And what was the only thing that could beat a Phoenix? Oh, Dave. You know, around 93 when the PGA World Championships going on. Never been used from there. Good tournament if you don't know. The only thing that could beat it, of course, is the brother of the Innova, the Viper. Hard to believe that was a distance driver. First one to ever go 190 meters. That's pretty far, guys. So things are going along, and then what happens? Well, then in the mid-90s, this guy named Scott Stokely came along with some Discrafts, a bunch of them, including the Xtel, set a bunch of records. So what happens? Well, we decided we have to change the name of our division. So we ended off in 2002 with Ken Jenkins with, Innova's back, the old T-Bird. Hard to believe. Oh, what a great disc. Anyways, it kind of takes you from 1970 to 2002. That's kind of the history. Your game is just starting now. Anyways, if you like and subscribe, I got a couple discs we're going to talk about. I'm pretty excited to show them off. We'll see you then.